Hey, what's up everybody? It's KyFy. I'm glad you could be here. If you are new, what's good? Glad that you can join us today. If you are returning, you know how we do. I'm surprised that the amount of subscribers are going up so fast because y'all hearing me. And since y'all hearing me, God got a lot of messages. Got a lot of messages to share, but we're going to get right down to that in a second. But before I get started, if you like this type of reading, if you like this content, share it with your favorite readers, share it with the community that you know. It's going to be one of those things that go down in history, basically. This is the Zin-Finity Board, and I'm going to tell you all about it. But if you are interested in the reading, send me an email. Of course, the email is in the description below. It's very unique. Basically, that's the wrong word. There's a who, what, when, where, and why type of question that you can ask me at the point when you send me the email for the reading or whatever. I'm gonna send you the email to ask for those questions anyway. But when you send it to me, that'll give me basically the setting to do the reading for. And my readings last about an hour, and you'll find out everything else about it in the email. But that's if you're interested, and if you are, I'm sure it'll be an experience because it'll be tailored to you and not a group. So, yeah. And what am I doing this for? Basically, the community I feel deserves a kingdom, right? And I'm gonna make that in the form of an app. And this is basically the framework for it, you can say. And I was intrigued to become a reader to expose it in this way. So eventually you'll see your favorite readers doing what I'm doing, and it's gonna be crazy. So let's move on from there. God likes to give me messages after a certain amount of pain, right? So what is that? I was talking about what can you do with pain that you're going through currently right now. If it's in your mind, what I mean, like, if it's in your soul, you're being creative with the pain. If it's in your mind, you're being judgmental with the pain. If it's in your spirit, you're being creative with the pain. No, sorry, the soul is imaginative, sorry. You create with your imaginations. The imaginations trump creations. These are things that you're doing with your pain, but I didn't mention physical yet. So what is it about the body that you can do to move the pain to a different location? Now, obvious to some people it's easy, and you're like, oh snap, you can just exercise. Of course, if you because I realize this, people always want to like work out and do things like that when they're in their head, in their mind, and things like that. When they I can't even talk. When they're going through what they're going through, they seem to they call it the villain arc. You know, men go on their villain arc. They go into the gym and then come out the other side looking good, doing good, being good, new person. Same thing for the women. You know how they say no pain, no gain. I had a whole different reading about that. You can check it out. But when you bring the pain to your body, now your body has to focus. Your whole soul, all your energy is focused on the healing of the body. Now, the pressure to think is not so heavy because the energy is in your body to heal. So this is one way you can cheat the matrix, right? So work out a little bit more. This way they say get moving, move around, get your body moving, exercise a little bit, run, jog, jumping jacks, whatever it is. Just get that blood flowing, because it'll move the energy into a place where it can be managed for proper use. Not something that's going to be, you'll get anxious in your mind and your spirit. You won't know what to manifest. You'll be manifesting the wrong things. And when it comes to your imaginations with your soul, you can just imagine where that can go. It's infinite. At least with a creation, you have to use it afterwards. It's like you can just stop. You can just stop the thought in general. But yeah. So I learned something recently. The divine feminine energy is a sphere, like a ball, right? And divine masculine is a line. So you can understand those two energies are opposite, right? But when somebody is on track, and take that as the male perspective, when a man is on track, the ball has a place to run through and go through the track, and, you know, in a sense, have purpose and have fun and just, you know, go through the motions, right? So that's one. Let me get it all out. You understand the ball and the track, but instead of thinking about a ball, you can just think about a roller coaster car. So this car wants to go on all types of journeys. It's fit for different types of coasters, right? It can go, it's about to get crazy. Yep. It can go on any track. King Dakar, any one of them, right? It can be on any one of those coasters. But which one is the coaster fit for it? Can it actually maintain and be on that coaster for a certain amount of time? Will it need a lot more maintenance being on this big coaster when it's not ready for it, right? Or would it be on a coaster that's cycling for a long time and get bored of it, right? So that's one. But you have to understand it's an energy that is craving movement. And that's the natural. It's natural. It has nothing to do with the person. It's a natural thing that we have to manage and control, being the temples that we are, right? So I have a whole thing about the temple. I got messages on messages on messages. So if it's hitting, I don't even know why I started this way. This is the way to start. If you want the cards, of course I'm gonna have that in the description. You could just press it to skip it, but I wouldn't advise it because we're gonna go into it afterwards. So I always like to say love is movement, right? So if love is movement, you can understand the track, which is the roller coaster, right? And the ball, which is the car that goes around and around and around and around and around. But a track that does not change is in a cycle. And that energy is craving change. So there's two battles that are going on. There's a battle to be on the divine path that's created, the track that doesn't end, and there's always something new, and there's always something for that energy on the opposite side to have an outlet with, right? So that's one side. That's one side of the battle. The anticipation, the anxiety of having track available. It's just crazy. This is a course of life experience available. A track record. What are you doing as a man to provide this life for a woman? I have a reading about the table, right? We always talk about the table. It's called the castle, the kingdom, and the flag. Because the table is not a table. It's a table of time. The time table. Literally, literally, literally. What are we doing in the span of our lives together? That's my table. That's the table that is set up between us. And there's there's feminine and masculine energies that go with in between that to make it work on both ends. So we need each other regardless. So bringing something to the table just says you're equipped. Doesn't mean that you have experience with this equipment. So that's both sides. But if you're interested in that, you should check it out. I did a whole reading on it, and it's quite an insight, so you'll enjoy it. But moving on. Now, I described one side. The other side of the battle is with the divine feminine, the patience required when you know it's going to be cycling, right? Because it won't be a whole new track available all the time, and cycling gets boring as an energy. Not even, this is what you have to control. It has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with your personality. It's just something, because you are a temple, these energies dwell in you, and they need, they aspire to live through you, the temple, right? So we have to learn how to control these things, or manage these things. So now that you kind of get the understanding of both sides of what the battle is with the natural energies, the deficit of it is, well, on the feminine side, you have chaos. On the masculine side, you naturally have control. But when it's divine, it's management on the masculine side. And when it's divine, it's more source energy. It's more gestation and manifestation. It's more bringing it to life, making it work. Yeah, I think that's what I was supposed to say. So I'm going with God right now. I don't exactly know what this is for, but it's important to know that it's the nature of the energy that we have to control and manage. And when we mismanage these energies, they control us, and then we don't know what's going on, because this is spiritual. It's something that we can't see. Imagine if we can see the elements at work. And that's what my app is for. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. So real quick, I want to talk about the deficits, because this is the next message, the deficits, right? So the message came in kind of in order of what's happening in the mind between three places. So in this is the mind, this is the soul, and this is the spirit, right? So in the mind, you have control and judgment. In the soul, you have thriving and intuition, right? And in the spirit, you have surviving and instincts. So I had to really think about it. When we use our instincts alone, it's not a balanced energy to be focused on. Why? This is one net. Well, it's not a balanced energy because it's all in the dark. The instincts come from a place of, I want to survive, I need to survive. Survival is of the utmost importance, and I will survive. That's it. I don't care about anything else. I'm just gonna survive. I will survive at the end of the day, right? When it comes up to that was the spirit. When it comes up to the mind says, I know what this is. I'm gonna prejudge this or judge this accordingly, but then control the whole situation. I'm not worried about the energy for it. I'm just going to make everything around me work the way I needed to in order to do what I needed to, and don't give it a break. Don't give it like a break. More like, don't allow it to do what it wants to do. Of course, because it's trapped. You're trapping the energy, but that's on the masculine side. But management is allowing it to do what it does best. So there's control, and then there's management, right? In the soul side, which is where the balanced energy is, this is the energy of evolution. This is the energy of thriving. This is the energy of intuition, because it's inside you. So it's really weird how it came out, because we just be saying words, and these words are tagged to energies. But where are these energies actually rooted in? Because I'm telling you that intuition is rooted in the soul, and instinct is rooted in the spirit. Because when your spirit gives you that emotion, that gut feeling, right? You say, for my survival, I should move to the left because something is about to happen, right? Pick and choose what the danger was, but it's danger. So that's the instinct to survive. I want to be here, right? I want to just live out my time, that kind of thing. On the control side is more force manipulation or force. Force is not love. Force brings movement, but it's anti-love. And thriving, which is the one in the soul center, right? Thriving is different. Thriving says, okay, I see the instinct, I see the judgment, I see what it is, but I'm going to move through the energy and I'm going to work through it to become better. And once you do that, the energy that was there, that was swayed to each side, left and right, and you can call it yin yang, right? Once you center that energy, then it's for you to grow with. And that's when the lesson comes. And it's crazy. Once the lesson comes, you can't go back because you know. And as the little God that you are, right? You can't unknow. And now is a good time to bring it up. Funny thing they say, once you go black, you don't go back, right? Funny. It's just funny. But really, when you think about it, once you decide to see yourself, and once you decide to go down that rabbit hole of the spirit in general, you can't go back once you even look at it. And this is why people is not even ignorant at this point. It's more like, I can't look that direction because I cannot go that direction right now. And it's crazy. I can't look that direction because I cannot go that direction right now. And it translates in many different ways, but it's all resistance. So if you're getting resistance from somebody in this manner, in the manner of kind of promoting them to do the thing of evolution and growth, it doesn't matter. The right thing is okay. Just do the right, like do the good thing right now. Maybe it has to be the right thing, but okay. That's neither here nor there. But let's move on from there. So this was the main message that I started off with, and I wasn't even sure that I was going to talk about it, and I guess I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to just read it exactly, not exactly because it's crazy, but I'm going to read it the best I can to translate how the thought, so you can understand what I think, right? Because sometimes just explaining it and just using big words and all this other stuff, you don't get it. I have to create that picture, so I want to create the picture now. What are you? Who are you? Where are you? And what time are you in right now? The current you. What are all the elements of the present time that you have right now? The you that you know. What is it? If we knew who we were, how would we operate afterwards? Because you will start to understand your purpose. So there's a belief that I have in like a creation story. God gave me a creation story through some kind of like quantum physics and math and all this other stuff. Everything that I was looking at, all the doom scrolling and lectures and things like that I've been listening to about science and all this other stuff, metaphysics. I've been all over with the information, and I was sci-fi minded, and I became spiritual, and then all of that information went over to the spiritual. It's more like it got retranslated, and now I'm here, and that app is gonna be crazy. But yeah, what are we in the Bible? And you know, in a lot of other places, a lot of different books, we're known as light vehicles, the temple, and things like that. So we are the temple. Just using common sense, what is a temple? A temple is an inanimate object, building, right? But we're moving. So we're moving objects, we're moving things like that. And when you start to understand what you are, there are temple dwellers. What dwells within the temple? This. Everything we're going to draw cards for, right? But in a lot of stories about the creation, if you put it all together, it's like there was a war in heaven, and we are everything that came after that war. So I know I'm on the right track because my camera's flashing right now. I hope it's doing good. But we're what came after the war. But what was happening in heaven? Anytime that I talk about it, it's kind of crazy. So I'm going to put y'all on. So real quick, a question. What is the perspective of God? Here, right now. What is the perspective of God? What is he looking at? What or she? What does it want? What does the creator want? What is the thing that it wants the most? That's the thing that I look at. That's the thing that I think about. And according to what I can do with my temple, I can say, this is the greatest work that I can do for God. And I'm on that journey right now. So this is my greatest work. The second thing is, if heaven is eternal, imagine your soul, who you are in heaven for 1,000 years. Everything's cool. 1,000 years is nothing. You did a lot. You know, you experienced a lot. You learned a lot. You know a lot. You've been with God. You serve God. You praise God. You do his works in heaven or whatever that is to you, right? That good place, that perfect place, right? You're in perfection this whole time for 1,000 years. So let's fast forward 100,000 years. You guys, everybody in heaven, we're having a good time, and everything is perfect, and everything is la 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 la, la joyous, and then next thing you know, somebody's like, this is starting to be irritating. This is the way the creation story came to me. It came in a story, and I'm gonna put it out on TV one day. So what happens then? Everybody talks about that there was a war in heaven, or there is a war in heaven right now. And I'm about to tie some things in real quick. So if there was a war in heaven, what was the answer to the war? How about a place? The name of the place came to me, not more of a dream world, but it's that middle space, it's that dead zone, right? So if God is in heaven, right, dealing with all of his creations, all of the people that's in heaven, God is preparing a place for us. But who is the us that he's talking about in the Bible? Who is the us? And I really had to think about it, because when I heard that, I heard us from a heavenly perspective, like I was an angel and God is preparing a place for us. But where is this place? We are everything. We are one. We are unity. And unity had multiple personality disorder, because if you're one and everything at the same time, how do you organize that without it being chaos at the same time? So is it perfection or is it not? There's something missing. I really think about this all the time. So the who is us is the universal soul conscious. That's who we are. The universal conscious. That's who we were when we were in heaven. I really hope this is making sense. I listened to a reader and they told me, don't be afraid if it's not making sense, because for the people who needed to hear this to attach their beliefs to what God created you to be, this is for you, because it's a common sense way to bring that information down and tie you up to the heaven that you know already. So moving on, there's a phrase that I know and I hold on. I'm gonna hold on for the rest of my life. It said heaven and hell is in the mind. So I said, okay, cool. So God is up in there, right? In heaven, in eternity. This is happening. Everybody's at war. You can't necessarily die, right? They don't know what that is. There's no concept of that. So you just fighting each other eternally and nothing's happening. Imagine the frustration. But at least there's something else happening. War or eternal peace. Eventually that got boring, because if I know myself, I'm gonna get bored after 300 years of me doing what I want with no restrictions. I'm gonna want another life down here regardless, right? That I'ma be bored. That's just me personally. But I'm talking about the scenario. What was the scenario that brought us down here into these hard times, these transgressions in the first place? If you think it's war down here, as above, so below. So look, heaven and hell is in the mind. And if we're thinking about the perspective of God, what is God thinking at this time? I'm tired of this, right? I'm about to go to sleep. So my imagination says, since this is the dream world, that was the cure. Because, you know, God can do whatever he wants. When God went to sleep, the dream world was created. And then God realized that we can live and do other things inside of a place of unknowing. This is a place of, because all knowing is in heaven. And it's almost like when you go to sleep, where are you? When you go to sleep right now, where are you? So, in a sense, where did God go when he slept for the first time? I really hope this is making sense, because God said, just say it all. And I'm like, no. So, I really need your help. If this is helping you, let me know what this is tying in for you with your own knowledge of everything, of all the spiritual knowledge you've gained so far. I'm a person to put it all together. So this is going to make sense for the people who've been scatterbrained with all of this information. Even the people who know the information, there's more to do with it, right? So in a sense, God is asleep in this realm. And this is why we feel like God is lacking with the power, right? But the time here and the fact that time exists, karma is his power, and coincidence and luck and things like that. It's timing. That's God's power. And, you know, if you looked at my other reading before, it's the power of no. God just sits in the background and says, as the overseer of everything that's happening, in the dream, the unconscious dream says, I don't want this to happen in my dream. I don't want this to happen in my dream. I see that this person is good. I'm going to put them up. Oh, this person is doing well. I'm going to put them up. God is just sitting there saying, this is the way I want my dream to go. And, you know, we go through trials at the same time. But after the trial is the blessing and also the power behind it. So what is the reason for all of this crappy stuff that's happening in this realm, the dream realm? I believe everything is inverted here. Because if heaven started off as eternity or eternal peace, this place started off as eternal damnation. So I just keep flipping these ideas in my mind left and right, up and down, in and out, and I just get to a place where I say stuff like this. When you listen to the information of these prophets, these influential people who are actually getting downloads from God to spread the knowledge to us, when you get this information from them, they tell us that we are in a cycle and we keep coming back down here. We keep coming back down here. Nobody's leveling up. Nobody's is ascending. So nobody's going back up anymore. So I had to really think about it. If nobody's going back up, there's a long line in heaven of souls that are, in a sense, trapped, if you will, trapped and can't be down here without a body, right? But our soul keeps wanting to come back in here. And since we came in first, we got to finish the cycle. We got to finish the cycle of enlightenment and to reach back up and not want to come back down here no more. And hence our turn is done bringing the next soul here. But in the cycle in general, when you keep listening to the information, they say that, you know, the Kali Yugas and things like that, when the moon is this way and the planets are this way, there's greater energy for souls to breach that barrier and get down here. So those souls are us, the star seeds, the ones that they keep talking about, the chosen ones. That's us. And we come down here knowing everything that's happening. And imagine from this moment, we finally get the chance to be down here. Because you know how it is. They getting rid of us like flies. Nope, nobody gets down here. Nobody gets access. We know what time it is. We know that the energies are here. We know that everything's lined up. We know that God is waiting to send the blessing. But there are universal laws that they are using against us to keep those souls from coming down. But this is the time for those souls to be down here. They coming down here regardless. And there's nothing they can do about it now. And this is why everything is changing now. So who are you? You are one of these temples that are designed to do it. You are a titan. You are, think about this movie, Meet Dave with Eddie Murphy, my favorite movie. The angels are inside of us. The universe, the universal consciousness and unconsciousness is inside of us, around us and all around us, working with us. The temple who was created in this new realm, they dwell within us, the new place that God created. So we are in control of that place, not knowing that we are God in the first place, because this is a place of inverted. Everything's inverted here. God knew he wouldn't know as a being here that he was God. And the trial is to get back. And that's the ultimate experience, to be so separated and then come back to the oneness and the fulfillment of God. So, and another reason why they say be fruitful and multiply, because these angels and these souls are waiting for their turn to get down here. We are bred to multiply. And this universe is big. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. We got space to multiply. I'm gonna leave it at that. We don't even use the space that we know on these 7 continents. Barely any of it. And we're smart enough to use it, but we're not using it for what reason? Because they don't want us down here. They don't want us to take over. They can only hold us for so long. Its time is up. I had this one gnat, and I promise you I'm gonna kill it. It's been bugging me this whole time, and this message is powerful. I know, because I couldn't get it out. There's so many times that gnat bugged me. You probably seen it. So I know that took longer than usual, but if you're with me right now, leave a comment and let me know what that did for you. Even if it did something bad, let me know, because I would like to know. I'm a person of perspective, and that's what I shared just now, my perspective of what could have happened with a common sense perspective of what is happening. Because we see a lot of stories and we see a lot of fantasy and novels and things like that, movies, all this other stuff. What is being communicated to us? If God is talking to us, what is being said? I promise you God is speaking at the loudest that he can. But we're in that inverted area and we can't hear it. We have to know it. So, yeah. So, with that said and done, I'm going to give a little intro of what the Zin-Finity Board is. The Zin-Finity Board is an elementally energetic grid that flows on a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind in a still life fashion. So anything that you can possibly think of is in one of these areas that you see here. Naturally, you see these squares, these rectangles for the cards, the area of the cards. You put a card down and you get different types of information on here. This is the structure, and it's known as the masculine approach to tarot. It's going to be, and this is why, it's kind of crazy, but I want to be that person that gives all of these readers that perspective. And I can't wait to do it. But yeah, that's what this is. And these perspectives goes as follows. I know, I be or I become, I want, I need, I will, I desire, I love, I do, I feel, and I am. So those are the I's, your perspectives. If you say I anything, I covered it all. So that's why these perspectives never overlap, and they cover everything that you can possibly think of. So along with those perspectives, you have this. There is this triangle right here, which is the world of emanation, right? This right here, sector over here, is the world of creation. This right here is the world of formation, and this right here is the world of manifestation. So this is the Philosopher's Stone, but the Tree of Life at the same time. When you intermingle these two things, you get a design, and I call it the Zin-Finity Board. So I hope you could dig it. Just give me a second to get these cards down right about now. So the first thing that I noticed, it was a lot of earth here, a lot of pentacles going on. But even though it was a lot of pinnacle manifestations, money, and things like that, they're all in the wrong place. In the place that it should be, it's not. And in the place that it should be, it's the Temperance card. So this is fire. So all of the manifestations that are coming to you right now, or should be along the way, it's like you can't use any of them because you have all of these fantasy manifestations around you. You have all the manifestations of pain around you. So this is why it's so important to let go, because in the place of your feelings, you have to let go of some manifestations. In the place of your solar plexus, you have to let go. That was your sacral chakra, your solar plexus. In the place of, this is the third eye, and this is the light side of the third eye, Hokman, right? So in this place, it's actually okay to be here, but the steps that you have aligned, or the step that you see, it's lacking, right? But the reason why it's lacking is because you don't have the proper tools. It's not so much proper tools, you don't have the proper manifestations in the place that it needs to be. Maybe you don't have to give everything up. Maybe it needs to be in a certain place for now and let it nest before it becomes something different. Maybe it's something that's alive, and maybe it's something that's more conscious than you think. So I didn't say it, but this is Ayin, and we're gonna start off with the first card, which is I know. So these black cards are the perspectives. We're gonna get it out right now. So the Queen of Swords are here, and it's on suit. So let's get it. So it's on suit, but it's reversed, and this is cold heart, cruel, and bitterness. Your knowledge, your experiences, the things that you think you're going to experience, it leaves a bitter taste, not in your mouth, and you're like, okay, it's the taste in your heart. And that's how I know I'm right. I can barely speak. It's the taste in your heart, because you don't want to leave that stain. It's something that you had to ingest and get rid of eventually. You don't even want to do that. Or you've been through it and you want to get rid of it as soon as possible. But these are the bitter experiences that you've been through that's going and meant for you to, like, you know, take up your cross kind of thing and learn along the way. Learn why you needed to take that with you. So the next card is I be, or I become. And this is the Four of Pentacles. Basically what this means is this energy is here. This is your being, what you're going to be at the beginning or the end of any day. So if you can implement that feeling, that energy, into the place of your fear, it'll overwrite the fact that this is off suit, which is burning up your manifestations because you don't believe in it. Or your ego says those things don't work and I'm gonna do what I want. You can imagine where it goes from there. But moving on, let's get these Four of Pentacles real quick. So this is conservation, security, and frugality. Now, frugal with what? Your soul energy. I'm gonna say I'm holding my manifestations for me. That's the energy that you need to have in order to become that person that you're dreaming of. It's not about the fantasy. The fantasy is created from pain and your consciousness. The consciousness goes through everything and learns. But the spirit, which holds the dream, the one that basically made that contract for you to be down here with, also at the same time, the one that you are supposed to nurture at the same time, is get your conscious experiences, right? That spirit holds the dream, and that's what you're truly meant for. So you have fantasies, you can do what you want, but you want to achieve your soul's purpose, which your spirit is going to be tapping you every day. You can do this, you can do this thing, you can do this thing. Your dream is always going to trump your fantasies. So yeah, moving on there. From there, we have the Five of Pentacles, and this is also on suit. So let's get it. This is need, poverty, and insecurity. So you had frugality here, but since you're not being frugal, that's what I'm getting right now. So far, at least the example that you're thinking of, you weren't being frugal. You were giving everybody everything, right? And since you did that, you were in poverty and you are now insecure. Why? Because the confidence is shot. Why is the confidence shot? Because what you thought was going to work does not work. As simple as that. Winning gives you confidence, but also honor in defeat gives you confidence too, because you're trained to be better, to get a better game and eventually get some wins in there, right? Eventually you'll get better. But it's the respect of it, you know? Like the sportsmanship, I should say. So you can say relationship, sportsmanship. I know that's like a bad, that's a bad analogy, but you can understand what I mean. It's fairness in a relationship, and like that kind of conduct that you require. But you weren't getting that. And that's what's blocking you from getting to the next place. That proper conduct, the fairness, the justice of it all. So yeah, moving on from there, we have the Three of Pentacles again, but this one is offsuit. So these are on, most of them are on suit so far. But we're going to go down the line. And what I mean by that, go from the crown chakra to the root and back up to the crown. We're going down the line, and so far, all the pentacles have been good until Bina, which is basically the dark side of the third eye. And this is teamwork, collaboration, and building something. Now, if I'm going with the same scene, the same scenario, since you believe that these manifestations are here, you believe it's for somebody else. So the team was outside of what you were meant to bring. It's more like you were giving your soul to something and allowing people to use it instead of controlling it yourself and getting the abundance and the recognition for what's happening, right? So recognition is coming up to play. And this is spiritual because we learn a lot. You know, these influences, they teach me a lot. And what I learned recently is there's focus energy. You know how some of these superstars have this focus energy. You go to a concert and everybody's just hoping that they give a good show. And that energy, since we are little gods, right? We manifest. We want things to happen. We want to make this thing happen. It happens. And when it does happen, there's the waves of energy. And let's not even talk about what they do with that. But it's there. And it is a thing. So this is pointing out that you don't need other people to boost you up as much as you think. It's within you. Almost like it's one crazy idea from seeing that forever muse, that muse that's going to be there forever. So it went from there to the Magician. This is the air card in the place where it should be fire or earth. This is offsuit. This is all love, but it's willpower, creation, mastery, and adaptation. All major arcana cards to me are love cards, and love is movement. It gets things from one place to the other. The energies in the Etheral from one place to the other, right? So this is the tricky energy and things that you're doing. I will trick people into forcing them to do what I want. No, that's not the way to go. You go with what's attracted to you and what's magnetic towards you. Because in a sense, you're not supposed to hold on to anything. Spirit will handle that. Spirit is magnetic. So if it seems like you can't hold on to something, or something can't hold on to you, something can't get closer to you if they tried, right? This is people right now. That person has a hard time getting to you, or you have a hard time getting to that person. There's a demagnetism. I don't even know the word yet, but it's demagnetized. It is pushing away. It's polar opposite, right? It's not going to work. It's not. So that's your spirit, or both of y'all spirits coming to the same agreement. The contract has been split. Something happened, and the two energies, regardless if it's physical or not, can't stay together regardless. You understand when you put two magnets of the opposing polarity together, you got to keep that there, and it requires force and attention. But you can't do anything else with your hands, so what are you going to do? You got to give that up. Yeah, my camera was bugging, so I knew I was on the right track. Next up is the Seven of Swords, and this is on suit in the place of desire. So let's see. This is hard work, perseverance, and diligence, right? When it comes up to your desires, you have to work in reverse. So don't run to catch the ball. You hold your hand out for the ball that God will throw to you, and don't worry about catching it. It will be there. It'll be caught. So it's like You just got to prepare your hand to catch the ball. It's like you have to prepare yourself for the blessing. You have to create that space where you can maintain that blessing first, and then God will push the blessing there, because it's a place for it. If God gives it to you prematurely, it doesn't have the place to settle. You understand that? It'll just flow right through you, like in one ear out the other, and God don't want to do that. What a waste. Yeah, it went from there to the Ace of Swords, and this is on suit in the place of I love. So let's get it. This is breakthrough, clarity, and sharp mind. Now, even though, see, this is the thing about having a sharp mind. You believe you're right. You believe you have good discernment. And that's a flaw as much as it is a blessing. Because there's a time to discern and a time to have faith. Like I said before, there's a time to judge, and there's a time to go with your instincts, and then there's a time to go with your intuition. So that's what I just meant just now. There's a time for all of it. But that sharp mind leads all of your energy more to judgment and control. And that's what this is talking about. But the thing is, it's control over that space that you have within your mind. So you're prepared, like I was just saying before, preparing that space in your mind is very important, because your mind is the scope of your kingdom. Everything that you can possibly think of is within your mind. Just imagine you're on top of a mountain, and everything that you see, Simba, this is your kingdom. That's everything that your mind can process. Everything that you can offer. It has the good stuff and the bad stuff. But now that you can see it with this Ace of Swords here, you are more inclined to manage it. Manage it, because this is a card of new beginnings. I'm gonna do new things with the things that I know now. Even though it's been a bitter experience. The bitter, the better. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, right? But even if you think of bitters, bitters are good for you too. Like, look it up, Google bitters. Bitters are good. So that's good for the body, good for the spirit. Tastes bad. Don't go down easy most of the time. But it's very good for you, so you can understand how the reverse is usually the better. Moving from there, we have the Eight of Pentacles, and this is off suit. This should be fire. So let's get it. This is diligence, passion, and high standards. Now, high standards, that's the problem. You have the passion for it, but the standards, it must be this way because you think you're right. Right? Remember this? The sharp mind. You've judged it, right? I've chosen to go this way. I think I'm right. And I'm going to diligently do this. And you're so focused on this one idea that you can't see the castle behind you. You can't see the blessing that you're supposed to go. You working in the field instead of working in the house, you know, in the smithy, in the place. I should put it this way. You have a home, but you're comfortable, quote unquote, outside of it. And what that's forcing you to do, because this is the area of the solar plexus, right? Your actions and your patterns and things like that, it's all detrimental. And you have a sharp mind to know it, but you also knew the benefit that it had. So logically speaking, logically thinking, this works. So that's the deficit of a sharp mind. You think you're right. Sometimes you have to rely, like I said, on intuition or instinct. Moving on, we have the Ten of Pentacles. It came up. We know that the abundance is here, so that's not the question. You don't have the capsule for it. You don't have the container to hold it. That's the problem. You need to prepare the place. Just like how I was saying before, God prepared the place for us. But now we are the temple. And what else can God do when we have free will? We're supposed to continue that work. Ten of Pentacles. legacy, inheritance, and culmination. Now this is offsuit. This is a place where it should be water. Now you have 10 pentacles here. You believe that things will stop the feelings from being so painful. That's not what's going to happen. It is absolutely the opposite way. Having all of the things will point out exactly what you don't like and exactly what you don't have. It's like, yeah, it'll point it right out. And this is emotional. This is backed up. And lastly, in this first part, we have the Temperance card. This is fire, and this is in the area of earth. So this is off too. So let's get it. So middle path, patience, and finding meaning. Do you remember the patience that I was talking about when it comes to the ball on the track or the roller coaster on the coaster car or whatever? That's coming up right now, because any type of union is what I was talking about. The union between the divine masculine and the feminine. It goes in many different ways, because you can unite with a car. You can unite with a bike, a purse, this, that. It don't matter what it is. Everything is conscious once you give it that energy, right? I'm using it, so therefore it's conscious with me. It goes many ways, but it just means you're giving energy to things that don't know about you to give it back. Yeah. So the next part of the reading goes with these oracle cards right here. So we have the questions: who, what, when, where, and why. So you can think about it. You can pause the video real quick and think about those questions. But I'm going to start off with who, which is in the world of emanation right now. Drama straight ahead. Prepare and brace yourself. Conditions are not favorable at this time. Wait the storm out before proceeding. Please do not worry. The weather can change very quickly. So think about being in the eye of the storm, because it's still preparing you. I know this reading is going to be powerful because the camera is bugging. But when I get my channel up, I will have a new camera. But in the eye of the storm, you notice that you've been through a part of the storm and that there's more coming. So now you can prepare. This is the intermission time. And this is about who. If you have been pushed away, or if somebody was away from you, some things have been taken away from you, this is the intermission time to say, hey, I know you noticed something strange going on before, but this is the time to fix those issues and move better. So that's who. What is growth? A time of evolution, and growth is here. You may be leaving behind outdated and antiquated relationships, mentors, belief systems, situations, or environments. If you are inquiring about a situation or relationship, this card calls for a deeper commitment or a decision to let go and honor your journey. So the honor of the journey, what is it all for? Why me? There's a perspective that you can have, and I can't give it to you, but it's greater than the pain that you've experienced, right? To get to this place. So if you start to even at a little bit understand some of the benefit of knowing what you know because of what you've been through, put your energy into that, because it'll drown out the pain, because now you have power. And it's almost like not shifting one for the other, but you're not thinking about it anymore, and it's giving it less energy. So that's what. When is grounded. Have you been feeling spacey, confused, or unable to focus? Drawing this card means your energy is scattered, or you are not fully connected to your body. Time to reconnect with your physical body and its connection to the earth. Do you remember when I was talking about bringing the pain into your body instead? You know how people hurt themselves because it's better than trying to fight the air? Because that's what it is. We want to fight the air, but the only thing we can actually hurt at the time when we're going through our own karma and other people's karma at the same time, pain and all that stuff, is to hurt ourselves, because we can't hurt the spirits that surround us trying to fuck with us. We can't hurt them. So we try to hurt ourselves, but it's different. It's a different thing you can do. Pain through growth, exercise, pumping iron, leaving your body in that sore state, like pause, but whatever. It's it's really crazy because now your focus is on something else. And it's that easy to be intentional about it. It allows time to heal in other places. So yeah, next up is where, and this is jealousy. Envy, jealousy, and bad vibes. This card comes as a warning that all is not as it seems, or maybe it is. There may be some jealousy being presented or projected to you at this time. Fear not. This warning is here to provide you with enough distance, I just mentioned it, to take the necessary action and protect your heart. So, jealousy is the things that you want, not need. That's what's coming to me right now. You're jealous of something that you want. But if you truly got it, and it would be detrimental, if God is saying no, are you being blessed? You know, they say rejection is protection, but you have to acknowledge that and see it from that different perspective to be on God's level with it. And once you're on God's level with it, then you're prepared to capture the new blessing because you understand now. So yeah, jealousy is where, and this is in the spirit. So what do I mean by that? This is about the dream. And yourself or your selfness is jealous of your consciousness, you, right? Being in charge all the time and not doing the thing that it's built for, dreaming of. So you have to understand that there's another part of you that's not getting shine. And when you nurture your body is the way that you can touch your spirit. Body, mind, soul, and spirit, because all is mind, but you know, your body, however you view it. So lastly is time, and this is why. Let me get it for you. Divine timing is everything. That, you know, honestly, I could throw this card and never draw it again because that pissed me off. Divine timing. I mentioned time before. God is time. God is the timing of everything, right? So if rejection is protection, when God says it's going to be, it's going to be. So it doesn't matter how long you have to wait. But it does matter to you because you have a certain amount of time here. So understanding that, you know, time and access and ability, right? Understanding that you're not going to just sit there, or you should have the perspective of not wanting to sit there and getting up and doing something about it. Doing anything about it, God will have you make mistakes and end up in a Pilates class or something like that. Have mistakes and end up in a new supermarket with better vegetables and stuff like that. The vegetables are always fresh. You ain't got to waste your money on something like that. Like, these mistakes only happen when you decide to move because you have the control of doing that. God cannot move you, but God can make you trip, you know? Like, like God will put something in your way, stop you real quick. Timing is everything. And that's your why. Why is very important because why me, God? There's a time for something to happen in this world. And you're built for it. You were chosen. And that doesn't really come as a blessing to your conscious mind at times because there's so much pain in learning who yourself is or what you've been through, because yourself is the one that retains everything. Yourself remembers everything that's happened. It just does. It's in your body, it's in your blood, it's in your bones. We in our body remember 15 generations of information in our body right now, currently. So for the things that you've been through in this lifetime, okay, that is it happened yesterday to your body. It happened yesterday. And this is why we get triggered. Everything that you've been through happened just now. Just this last second. And you, or the person that's triggered, will not let that happen. Time does not exist, but timing does. Alright, next up, I'm going to get these cards down to clarify some of these places that are off suit. Just give me a moment to get these cards down right about now. So many major arcana cards came up on the solar plexus. So I don't think God is asking you to do much of anything. God is going to be sending you so much love in a form of everything that you can possibly think of. Just start to notice it. As you notice it, more will appear. And that's the trigger. So noticing it is bringing a spotlight to where you are in the dark. That, that lighthouse on the shore of your island, right? Acknowledge the blessings and more will come, because you have so much coming your way. You just have to open the door and be willing to accept it now. Alright, so going with the first card that's off suit, we got Bina, which is the dark side of the third eye. It started off with the Three of Pentacles and went to the Six of Pentacles. And this is still off suit. It says charity, generosity, and sharing. Now this is still giving away your energy, but in tiny amounts. But it's almost like giving little amounts to what God is asking you to do, and everything else to what you think is right. So it's like, I'll do a little bit of that, okay. It's like you're pushing it off to the side like it's laundry, and it should be like your breakfast. You know what I mean? It should be the first thing you think about. So went from there to the 10 of Wands, and this is accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. Of course, if you're gonna say go this way, of course, take up all the burden. You're going in a place that God didn't want you to be, so of course you can't fulfill even the fantasy that you're asking to do. Sometimes God will give you your fantasies and then switch it up to a dream, but you won't even allow that to happen. So it went from there to the 9 of Cups reversed. And this is satisfaction, reversed is lack of inner joy, smugness, and dissatisfaction. Lack of inner joy is ridiculous, because that's not being nurtured. You were giving away everything. If you were giving a little bit more to your spirit could have did more with that tiny bit. But a little bit more focus is required on your spiritual journey or your dreams. Make a dream board. Figure out what your dream is and not your fantasy, because your fantasy is made from pain. I'm going to keep saying that. Make one out of the power that you have now because of the bitter experiences that you've been through. So went from there to what was off was I will. This is your will. This is just set on the tree of life. It went from the Magician to the Wheel of Fortune. So there's 2 major arcanas. All love is coming out, I'm telling you. This is cycles, change, and inevitable fate. Now, of course, it's fated for you because of the sharp mind you have. Once you get that divine clue, it's over for everything. The sharp mind could be good and bad, but when it's time for it to do a good thing, it's over for everybody. And this, God knows you have this power. So imagine if you had full control. So you're going to be in fortunate situations. You're going to be given opportunities to do differently. And it helps. So the next card that was off was in the solar plexus, and this was the 8 of Pentacles. It started with the 8 of Pentacles, and this is where all the major arcanas card came out. So it started off with the Judgment card. Judgment is water, not the energy to have in this area, but we're gonna get it. Reflection, reckoning, and awakening. Now, sharp mind, reflection. Judgment is you going through the process of calling out everything that was taken away from your spirit, flushing it out, right? And this is your actions and your habits and your things like that. And went from there to the Hierophant. Tradition, conformity, and morality and ethics, right? Your morals and your ethics, the way you move, it's not being determined by anybody. They don't even know what you're going to do next. And that means the devil don't know what you're going to do next either. So the devil has to take a back seat until he figures out where you're going. But a divine path can't be determined. The devil can't see that. It's too light. It's a light path. They don't know where you're going. You just see like a see the trail where you trail. I think I know what this guy wants to do, but it's so divine, I can't get next to it. It went from there to the Tower. And this is sudden upheaval, lost foundations, and disaster. Of course, that sharp mind. You needed to be grounded. The most beautiful thing about the Tower is the Tower was up and it was beautiful. It brought all the business inside of it. That business, imagine this is other things to be used. And when that tower's bust down, now you have the original tower pieces and everything that was brought into it to be used to build it better. That's the importance of the tower. And of course it's going to be built better and built higher so you can see farther, project better. And went from there to the Hermit, naturally, because when you do that, I only need to see myself. This is contemplation, searching for truth, and inner guidance. Naturally, the Hermit card is very powerful. And the reason why I say that is because when you first decide to trust in yourself as you go along, that's what this card is about. And it's very sturdy, but you can't see much of what's going on in front of you. See, that's naturally what the Hermit is saying, right? But it's spiritual. This happens automatically, immediately, in little bits of some scenarios that you go through. You won't even have a quick response. You'll just be forced to react and like, what's happening? It's almost like you'll be brought into situations where you are tested that you believe in yourself. And you do. And that brought you into a sense of, well, pain. But as I said before, no pain, no gain. If you are the only one outside of a relationship in pain, the other party has no ability to grow. They are literally in the same cycle. So let's get Ten of Swords. This is failure, collapse, and defeat. I don't need to be really explaining much about that. But if you ever felt yourself feeling like you wanted to be laid out on the floor, it's okay. It's okay. You want to lay out on the floor? Go to a park and lay out in the grass. We got a lot of sun left before it's deep winter, and we got some sun that don't make no sense. You can still do it. Lay right on that grass, ground yourself. Put yourself right within that energy. The energy is of healing, and it does it automatically. So, yeah. And went from there to the High Priestess. This place didn't even finish, but it had so many major arcanas. I just stopped because obviously God wants you to sit and do nothing. Wait. You've done the work. You've done it. Congratulations. Like, you've done it. Not many of us in this dark night of the soul journey get congratulated. But congratulations to you because you actually did make it. That finish line feels like it feels like crap. But when you make it, the devil wants you to believe it's crap because the devil wants you to bring you back into the old slop. Because that's the only way to get you back into the old cycle. Making you believe that it was all for nothing. Making you believe that this is what the benefit was. I don't want to do this again. And that only takes you away from God further in your time away from Him. So, yeah. It went from there in the place of I feel, from the Ten of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles again. The Five of Pentacles is right here. And where you're going. Now, you're doing things for other people and it's leaving you, I want to even say, sick. Because as above, so below, as within, so without. Within your spirit, if you give it everything, you have nothing to heal yourself. So, yeah. And from there to the Nine of Wands, that I swear it just came out. Oh, that's why. The Nine of Cups, that's why. Upside down, I couldn't see it. So, yeah. So, the stubbornness of your spirit is needed. And this is why it's so frustrating why you can't hold on to anything right now. It's needed because you have to learn to hold on to spirit. This is your natural energy, the energy that you can use the best. So Nine of Wands, resilience, grit, and taking the last stand. This person is battered and everything, bloody, all of it, but he's still standing. And this is the finish line, what it looks like, what it feels like. They don't really tell you this. They think it's going to be, all love and light. Okay, it's love and light on the inside. On the outside, it's all pitch black, because let somebody else try you after what you've been through. You don't have time. And from there to the Five of Wands. This is competition, conflict, and rivalry. It's kind of the same situation going on, but rivalry is different. That's that jealousy energy coming on. You don't need to rival anybody else but yourself. So focus on the inner journey. We went from there to the Knight of Wands. A lot of fire that came up. So this is action, adventure, and fearlessness. Good energy to have, but you're taking action instead of feeling out what the situation is, what the problem is. You're just saying, this is the thing to do, this is the thing to do. You're solving situations not knowing the problem. And went from there to the World. I kept going on this energy because this is the water energy. I felt like there was no balanced emotions going on throughout this whole reading. So yeah, so it went from the World, fulfillment, harmony, and completion. If the cycle was done, if the cycle was complete, if you feel you have everything you need, or if you feel you have nothing you need, that's what it is. You feel you have nothing you need. And that's a strange place to be, because if God is all you need and faith is the thing to acknowledge that, it's just showing where, not you lack faith, because that's just kind of pointing you out, is where like you need to work on it a little bit. Because with faith, out of nothing comes something. You're literally believing in nothing. You are literally believing in nothing when you talk about faith. I talk about this all the time. This is going to be my outstanding message. Faith is belief of nothing, nowhere, and nobody. God, can you see God? Where is God? If you can point him out, you will be pointing to nobody. So God is nothing, nowhere, and nobody. Right along with what you believe with faith is doing for you. So, yeah. Nothing is a trigger word for me now. Anytime that I even think about it, I put God there and I get frustrated. So don't do it. And we're from there to the Chariot, and this is reversed. So this is lack of control, lack of direction, and aggression. Now, this is good right now because it's almost like the levee broke, but in a good way. The levee was the enemy holding up the barrier this time. Holding up, saying, oh, you can't, you can't, you can't. The can't wall. Holding up all the spiritual, the abundance that's coming up. But now it's aggressive and spirit is taking control. All of that time that was wasted, that's why God is asking you to sit there. Don't do nothing. Watch what's about to happen. Just watch what's about to happen. Yeah. You wanted to see God if he was real. God is about to show you, and you will not deny it. Not ever again. So next up, we have the Star Stream. And the Star Stream is very simple. It goes with the ifs. I gave you the details of everything about your mind, right? What's the current situation? Now this is the information of if, and I used the oracles to get that energy. And this one wanted to come out. So, if I experiment, if I express, if I integrate, if I transcend, then I will ascend or evolve, right? So, let's get this out real quick. First one up was message, and the next one is full moon. Yeah. That last full moon energy did a number on me. So if y'all was anything on this spiritual journey, it did a number on y'all too. And you made it. You made it. It don't feel like it. It don't look like it, but you made it. It's crazy. That's what it feels to win. The devil don't want you to get like a justice feeling for doing the right thing, because if you did, you'll do it again. So this card wanted to come out. Lucky. I guess these two came out at the last. So fire and healer. I know you don't see it, but fire and healer. So that's how you evolve, fire and healer. So starting off with message, we have, well, starting off with experimentation, we have message. A letter, text, email, vision, dream, conversation, music, or some other form of a message is coming regarding your current situation. Be open to receiving it. Meditate on this symbol to draw a message from your ancestors' guides to you at this time. So allow the things that you think that might be coincidence and all this other stuff to be a message. What could it possibly be telling you? Look at the elements of it. I usually look at the numbers. Maybe you have to look at the colors. Or I've been seeing blue lately. Or I've been seeing a crescent moon lately. Or I've been seeing a horseshoe lately. Or I've been seeing, what is it that's been constantly popping up? And write it down and figure out what it is, because we don't get perfect communication. We get spiritual communication. And you only get better with that, with your clear senses. So that's message. That's experimentation. Next up is expression, what you can express. This is the full moon. A ceremony, culmination, or completion of a cycle in time. The magic is here. The full moon has the power to magnify your dreams. Is that dreams again? It can also take away anything not in alignment with them. Be open to the magic and the wonders of all things. Meditate and perform a ritual on the full moon to draw more of a feminine or receptive energy into your life, projects, and rituals. So if the moon energy is asking you to be more receptive in your emotions, so accountability and acceptance is the most powerful energy state of mind that God is asking you to be in. Because if you have that state of mind, it is the encampment, it is the encasement to hold that spiritual energy. It's coming out aggressive right now, but the reason why the full moon, that's funny, like right then and there. And this is your side, which is the sacral chakra, which is me. I'm a Cancer sign, right? Actually double Cancer, but whatever. This is the place of the moon, and the full moon came out. Shout outs to that. Next up is release. And this is in the place of integration. Your habits, your patterns, the things that you think on a daily basis, constantly, things like that. Without delay, cut the course to any unhealthy or toxic people, places, energy, habits, and beliefs. This is the time to stand in your truth without cutting anyone down in the process. Every time I read that part, cutting anyone down in the process, revenge. It's almost like when you become enlightened in any manner, you understand karma. You understand that what you give out comes back to you. You were ignorant of it before, and it didn't come to you a lot back then. But once you go black, you don't go back. Everything you become accountable if you know. So the release is important. Find outlets to get rid of this energy instead of other people, right? On to other people. Next up is transcendence, and it's lucky. You got this. I don't know why I said you got this. So somebody needed to be reassured just now. You got it. And that's on the number 11 right now, lucky. You got the Midas touch. Everything you touch turns to gold at this time. Enjoy this winning streak you're on. Meditate on this when you need an extra boost of being in the right place at the right time kind of energy. So, stillness puts you in the right place at the right time. The things that you have to do to nurture puts you in the right place at the right time. Because doing the things for yourself is allowing you to be in places. And God is all powerful. Just think of it, right? What can't you do if you was God? In this dream world that I just mentioned of. It's my dream. If I want it to be it shall be. Like, so next up and lastly, the last cards of the reading are fire and healer in the place of ascendance or evolution, right? So fire came out first. So let's get that one. Light, creativity, drive, purity, passion, and new opportunities. The element of fire can free you from boredom, clear karma, and give you the energy required to take action. Be warned though, too much fire can also burn. So be mindful of utilizing this energy wisely by channeling it creatively. Meditate on this symbol with the assistance of a candle to inspire creativity, motivation, and passion. Right? That was the first card. The second one is healer. You are a healer. For fear not your own ability to be a light worker. And that's important because you realize how much power you have to do evil, to do the wrong thing. And it's irritating as much as it is to do the right thing. Drawing this card can also symbolize that a healing is in its highest form is available to you now. If you have pulled this card regarding to a relationship or a situation, please know that there is a powerful exchange of energy here. Meditate when you are wanting to heal the physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual plane. So, that's how you evolve. Meditation and passion. Meditation and form, planning, that kind of thing. Not sporadic movements. Organized action. Alright, so that was the reading. If you are still here, I appreciate you. If you like my little creation story, again, let me know how you feel about it. Leave a comment in the description box below. If you are interested in the reading, send me an email. I'll get right on that. You'll see all the information about that. The Zin-Finity Board is going to be an app for all readers in all of the spiritual community. It's going to be our foundation to fight this war that we can't even see. And I can't wait to make that a possibility. So, with all that said and done, I'm KyFy. Peace.